And we are back at the OPP. First and foremost, blessed is Yahuwah the Most High. His glory glorifies the entire universe. Without him, none of this would be possible. With that being said, mi gente, que lo que hay, my people, what it is, what's good. So today's topic episode, it's gonna be a little of a heavy conversation. And I'm gonna push back a little bit on some understanding that we grew up understanding. So let's just jump into it right now, okay? So basically, you know what I'm saying, we're going to talk about how we've been taught about the rapture, okay? So let me tell you a little bit about my history real quick. You know, I grew up in the church, you know, I'm talking about my mother and my father. They were pastors, you know, and we grew up, you know, like being taught that that before the Great Tribulation, that Jesus was going to come down and blow the trumpet, and then the dead we're gonna go up in the air first, and then us that are alive, we're gonna go up there and join them, and then he's gonna take us away, and he's gonna take us and go to heaven, while the tribulation is going on down here on earth, you know. And I grew up learning that, getting taught that, you know what I'm saying? That's what we were looking forward to. But little did we know that that's not what's up. That's not what's good. But so now I'll explain to you. So basically I've always pictured when I was younger, oh man, you know what? I know when the Father comes and he blows the trumpet, you know, and all of a sudden it says that the dead are gonna rise first. And while he's up there blowing trumpet, I would just imagine myself like, oh my gosh, what would I do if I saw that just that viewing that's just plain awesomeness, just seeing that, you know. I always picture myself as he blows the trumpet and the dead are going up. I always picture myself just kneeling down and say, Father, do not forget me, take me with you, and, you know. And I pictured everybody else everybody that knows what the rapture is doing the same thing. And we're not the only ones that know this, you know. The Muslims know about this, the Buddhists know about Jesus, the Hindu know about Jesus. All religions, they all know about Jesus, you know what I'm saying? So I'm you know what I'm saying, if anybody were to see something like this, something, you know, like the Most High coming down, you know, Jesus, Yeshua coming down, and, you know, what would you do? What would you do, you know? So I've always believed that, oh my gosh, that would be something awesome to witness, until I learned the truth, you know. In fact, the matter is, we've been taught that we won't be here for the rapture, and then the Father's gonna take us away, and we're not gonna have to deal with that. But fact of the matter is, that's not what's up. That's not what's up. You know, we are gonna be here for the rapture. And in fact, I mean, just without starting yet, there's also other like the pre-rapture, the pre-trib. That's what we've been taught. But you know, saying while time has passed, there's been like a mid-trib theory and a post-trib theory. You know, so I'm gonna let you guys know in a little secret right now, real quick, that we will be in the rapture, and it will be a post-trib situation, you know what I'm saying? And fact of the matter is, we were hoping that Jesus would come down and take us to heaven with him. Well, that's not what's going to happen. What's going to happen, he's going to come down and he's going to bring Jerusalem down, you know, the New Jerusalem down with him, and we will reign down here on earth with him, you know what I'm saying? So let's take it to the word real quick, you know, and let's take it to the word. We're going to talk about, the first thing we're going to talk about is a parable that's going to explain why what we've been taught, that's not what's up. We've been misled, okay? So first we're going to take it to we're going to take it to Matthew, the book of Matthew, chapter 13, and we're going to read from 24 to 30, okay? 24 to 30, okay? So we're going to take it, there we go. It's called the parable of the weeds, okay? So right here at the time, Yahusha, he was talking to the people. He was talking to a crowd, and he told them this parable. Okay, so I'm gonna read the parable first, but then afterwards, when he leaves the crowd, he's alone with his disciples, and the disciples asked him to explain the parable to them without, hey, just don't mess around. Just let us know what is gonna happen. Okay, so let's begin with the parable of the weeds. Okay. And Jesus told them another parable. The kingdom of heaven is like a man who sowed good seed in his field. But while everybody was sleeping, his enemy came and sowed weeds among the wheat and went away. When the wheat sprouted and formed heads, then the weeds also appeared. The owner's servant came to him and said, "Sir, didn't you sow good seed in your field? Where then did the weeds come from?" "An enemy did this," he replied. The servants asked him, "Do you want us to go and pull them up?" "No," he answered, "because while you're pulling up the weeds, you may uproot the wheat with them. Let them both grow together until the harvest. At that time, I will tell the harvesters, first, remember this key word, first collect the weeds and tie them in bundles to be burned. Then gather the wheat and bring them into the barn." Remember that, what happened first, okay? So now he was talking to a crowd. So now we're gonna move to that same chapter, Matthew 13:36-43. And this is where the disciples came and asked him, "Can you just explain to us so we know what is that parable exactly?" So then here, let's start on 36. Then he left the crowd and went into the house. His disciples came to him and said, "Explain to us the parables of the weeds in the field." He answered, "The one who sowed the good seed is the Son of Man," which is Yahusha. "The field is the world, and the good seed stands for the people of the kingdom. The weeds are the people of the evil one, and the enemy who sows them is the devil. The harvest is the end of age, and the harvesters are angels. As the weeds are pulled up and burned in the fire, so will it be at the end of the age. The Son of Man will send out his angels, and they will weed out of his kingdom everything that causes sin and all who does evil. They will throw them into a blazing furnace, where there will be weeping and gnashing of teeth. Then the righteous will shine like the sun in the kingdom of their Father. Whoever has ears, let them hear." Okay, so let's talk about the parable real quick. So, in the parable, you can always go back and study this yourself. Don't take anything I say. Hey, go back and read it for yourself, and meditate and ask the Father for if you have any questions, for answers. Okay. So remember I said I grew up in church believing that the Son of Man was going to come, blow the trumpet, and then the dead were going to rise first, and then we were going to go up with the dead and meet Jesus, Yahusha, in the sky. You see? But see how that's opposite of what the parable says? The parable says, I'll reread that second part real quick. The parable says, first collect the weeds. So see, if I keep it in perspective, the weeds go first. That means if we're hoping to go first, that means we are tares. We're the weed. No, see how it's backwards? It's backwards. No, it's backwards. We are not going to go first. we're going to live through the tribulation, and throughout the tribulation, the tares are going to be uprooted. Okay? So that's the parable of the weeds. Okay. So then I got a couple other Bible verses that I'm going to read to you that will explain this a little further. And in a little bit, the reason why I'm giving you all this information is because the Father gave me a download. It was a heavy download when I received it, and it was a lot of information, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't know what to think, because it was just I was so at awe with what I saw. I asked the Father, this is some heavy stuff. If you want me to say this, I will say it, because I know you've given me this assignment. You've put me here on this earth to say this for you. I've been chosen for an assignment, and this is part of my assignment, and it's to bring awareness of the deception that we're in. We are being deceived by the enemy. So I'm bringing this knowledge so you guys can hear truths. Okay. So when I heard this, when I saw this download, when I received it, I asked the Father, if you want me to say this, I need confirmation. I need confirmation that this is what you want me to do. Okay. And in a little bit, we will go into that. But first, let me continue talking about what's going to happen at the end of times, and how we were never going to leave to go to heaven, and the tribulation. No, we know what I'm saying. But the fact of the matter is, if you're his child, he will protect you. He's going to cover you during the tribulation, and you will be taken care of. But if you're not protected, that's going to be some serious time to be living through. Okay, so let's read some Bible verses before we get into the download that he gave me. It's kind of heavy. It's gonna shake every belief, the whole belief system of Christianity, and everybody who's believed and who's been taught about the rapture. This is about to shake everybody up that believes in that teaching. Okay, so first we are going to so you saw how the Father explained it. He explained that at the end of the age, in the parable, at the end of the age, he's going to he's going to allow. So see, he planted seed, his own seed, which was the way. That's what it was. It was the way. Before Christianity came, the belief that the apostles and the Yahushua was teaching was called the way. Now, somebody came and sowed tares. Tares is what religion. That's religion. Religion. You see what I'm saying? I'm not talking against the word. The word is the word. But it says it. Someone came and planted tares with the weed. So now it's not the way anymore. Now they're teaching this new religion aspect. You know what I'm saying? It's called Christianity. I'm not saying that Christianity it's Christianity is Christianity. I'm not saying nothing against Christianity. I'm saying that, you know what, just be aware of what you've been taught. Be aware of what you've been taught. Go do your own homework. Do not listen to a sermon. Do not listen to the preachers. Do not listen to people who are giving you this information, because they're misleading you. I don't think they're trying to mislead you on purpose. I honestly think that they're also confused, and they're also deceived. That's what I think is going on, because I think there's a lot of pastors out there that truly do love the Father, and there's a lot of people out there in Christianity that do love the Father, the Most High. They do. They're just being deceived. But you know what? It's up to you guys to get out of that deception. If you love him enough, you're gonna do the work, and you're gonna acquire the knowledge that you need to know who he is. And we've been going through over this throughout the last couple of weeks on the podcast. So if you've missed that, go back and listen to those, and then you'll know what I'm talking about right now. Okay. So first, the first one we're gonna read. So in the parable, real quick, in the parable, He says he's going to send his angels down and collect the tares first and burn them. And then they're going to go collect the good seed, which is his people. And they're going to reign with him. They're going to reign with him in a 1,000-year reign. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So, let's start with Revelation. We're going to go to Revelation. And of course, Revelation. And we're going to go to Revelation chapter 20. And we're going to read verses 4 to 6. Okay. I saw thrones on which were seated those who had been given authority to judge. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded because of their testimony about Jesus and because of the word of God. They had not worshipped the beast or its image and had not received its mark on their foreheads or their hands. They came to life and reigned with Christ 1,000 years. The rest of the dead did not come to life until 1,000 years were over. This is the first resurrection. Blessed and holy are those who share the first resurrection. The second death has no power over them, but they will be priests of God and of Christ and will reign with him for 1,000 years. You see? Let me explain this a little bit. What this is saying is that, everybody is going to go through a tribulation. Okay? Now, there's some the Father who's going to have covered because they have their relationship, and the Father's not going to allow his people to be harmed. But there is a lot of people, that truly do believe in the Father, and when they find out that they've been deceived, they're not going to go and take the mark on the forehead or the hand. So what's going to happen to those people? Those people are going to be beheaded because they're not following the system. They're not following what the world, what the Antichrist, what the enemy is selling. So they're gonna die for their beliefs in Yahusha and Yahuwah. Okay, so when the tribulation is over, those are the people who are gonna come back to life and reign with Yahuwah and his people for 1,000 years. You see, all the rest of the dead will not wake up until 1,000 years is over. You see, we've been taught though in Christianity that the dead are going to rise first and that us second. See, no, it says it right here. It clearly says that only the beheaded ones are going to come back to life, and then they're going to reign with the Lord, with the Father, for 1,000 years with us who have been chosen and with us who are covered and been sealed by him. Okay. So I'm going to read you another, just so you guys can see. And hey, write these verses and these chapters of the books down and go back and read them for yourself. So you can see I'm not making none of this up. This is all word coming to you. And you know what? It's awesome because the way I get all these things, the Father sends me all this information in visions, in downloads, in dreams. He's the one teaching me. I'm not going to school for this stuff. This he's the one teaching me and and I'm learning from the greatest teacher that there ever was. So we're gonna go to Matthew 24. Okay, Matthew 24. Starting from verse 29. From verse 29. Okay, let's get to 29. All right. Okay, so then, Okay, so this is Matthew 24, verse 29 to 31. Immediately after the distress of those days, which is immediately after the tribulation. So I'm just letting you know what that is. Immediately after the stress of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Then will appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And see, so he's coming. So after the tribulation, that's when you're gonna see him coming down from heaven. Okay. So everybody's gonna live through the tribulation. Nobody's gonna be exempt from it. Okay. So then there will be the appear the sign of, okay, and then all the people on earth will mourn when they see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of the heaven with power and great glory, and he will send his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the four winds, from one end of the heavens to the other. See, so he's gonna, again, this is going back to the parable. See how it says right here. It says right here that his angels are gonna go gather his people at that time, at the time of the tribulation being over. Okay, go upon this and study yourself. I'm gonna read you another one real quick. Okay, we're gonna read Mark. We're gonna read Mark, chapter 13. 13, verse 24 to 27. So let's read upon this a little bit. Okay, here we go. This is a different person speaking on the same topic. Okay. But those days following the great tribulation, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light. The stars will fall from the sky, and the heavenly bodies will be shaken. Okay. And and he will send his angels and gather his elect from the four winds and the ends of the earth and the ends of the earth and the end of heaven. Okay? So again, here we go again. Nothing's gonna happen until the tribulation is over. It's over. Okay? So here I am. I'm here. I'm giving you word here. I'm reading straight from the word. Giving you word here. Go back and study those on your own. Okay. So when I was studying this, it says he's gonna gather and the tares and put them in bundles and burn them. Okay, so throughout the tribulation, there's going to be some signs, some things that are going to happen, and I'm going to want you to go read upon. I'm not going to go into too much here. I'm going to give you the verses and where you can read this stuff on so you can study it yourself and study yourself, prove, and see what I'm saying is true. So throughout the tribulations, there's going to be a lot of things. I mean, it's going to be nutty. The life during that time is going to be the worst it's ever been. It says the first 3.5 years is going to be somewhat good because the enemy is coming to deceive, but the second 3.5 years it's going to be nothing but murder, pillaging. It's if you don't follow the Antichrist and if you don't follow the enemy, and if you don't get your your mark, the mark of the beast on your forehead here, you're going to be beheaded. You're going to be persecuted. It's not going to be nothing nice unless you fall into what they're selling into their system. Okay. So there's these. So on Revelation 6, it talks about seals. A lot of a quarter of the population of Earth will die, maybe even more, throughout when those seals are open. Okay, go back and read this on your own so you can see what I'm saying is, it's just because of timing. I'm not gonna go into it too much, but go and I'm giving you the verses to go read upon and to study some proofs to see what I'm saying is truth. So in Revelation 6, it talks about seals. Okay, and then on Revelation 8, it talks about trumpets. Go back and read those things. On Revelation 16, talks about bowls being let loose. Bowls, okay? So each one of these things that's going out to a tribulation. There's gonna be a lot of death, a lot of pillaging, a lot of stuff that you do not want to be involved in. This is why you must try to wake up. You know what? Hey, I'm here. I've been sent to give you a message. Now, you don't have to listen to me. You can ignore me and say whatever. He doesn't know what the heck he's talking about. You know, hey, you have that option. Self-will. You can do that. But you know what? If I come here and I tell you these things and I can help out one person, man, how awesome is that? If I can help out one person. But you know what? If you guys study yourself to prove and just say you can help out even one person, how awesome is that? You're doing the Father, the Most High Yahuwah's work. You're doing his work, and guess what? That's what he loves. That's what he wants. You're showing yourself approved. Okay? So then now I'm gonna read two more little small verses, and then we're gonna go into the download that's been given to me. And I will be using these two verses throughout the download. Okay. All right. Hold on. This is not working for me right now. Hold on. Let me switch it up to over here. Okay. Okay. So now we're gonna go into Hosea 4:6. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6. And he says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because they have rejected knowledge. I reject you from being a priest to me." You see? He has given me this knowledge to spread to you guys. Now it's up to you to take it or reject it. It says right here, you're going to either take it. It says it on the word. It says you're going to take it. You're going to reject it. It's up to you. Self-will. Don't take my word for it. Go look it up yourself. All these books I'm telling you and these verses, rewind this and go back and study it. Okay, I'm going to read one more for you guys. Okay, so now we're going to go to 2 Timothy. 2 Timothy. Okay. Chapter 2. Verse 15. Here we go. Okay. Do your best to present yourself to God as one approved. See? Saying right here. Do your best to go do your homework to find out what I'm saying. Is it true? Have I been bamboozled? You know what? You guys aren't the only one. I was bamboozled for a long time myself, and a lot of people are waking up. I'm not the only one. The dry bones are being shaken right now. They're shaking. We're at the time where the dry bones are being shaken. They have not come back to life yet, but they're being shaken. Chosen people are coming out, and they're speaking on these knowledge and these truths. It's up to you guys to listen or not. It's hard because we're pushing back against history, basically. The history of what the enemy has allowed us to learn, we're pushing back against it. And it's going to be very difficult for you guys to be like, okay, I get it. I was the same way. But if you love the Father enough, you will go do your own work because you don't want to be left behind. In a minute, when I tell you the download, you're going to be like, whoa, because I was like that. Okay? So first of all, so you remember, I received a download from the Father. I asked him, I need confirmation. I will talk about the download, and then I'm going to talk about the confirmation. And I'm actually going to go ahead and post the little videos on confirmation so you guys can see what I saw. Okay? So when I received the download, I was talking to my sister, and we were talking about the end times, you know? Because whether you believe it or not, whether you like it or not, we're in the end times right now. Look around. Read the word. We're in the end times. A lot of prophecy is coming to be. It's coming here. It's coming here. So I was talking to her, and as I was talking to her, the download came, and it just shook me. It shook me from my core. Okay. So what I saw, the first thing the download showed to me was that the enemy, he is using a playbook. Okay. So when I saw a playbook, what do you mean a playbook? You know, you got to remember the enemy knows the Bible. He knows the word way more than we do. He has it memorized. He knows what all the prophets says. He knows what Revelation says. He knows everything that the Bible brings. So guess what? The download let me know that everything that we read, that I've just read to you, it's gonna happen. For example, right now, okay. First of all, in 1948. Okay. So let's start with this. So it started with this. Okay, May 14th, 1948, the independent state of Israel was born. Okay, it says that in the Bible. It says when Israel gets back together, that will be my last generation when I come back. But see, that the people who are in Israel right now aren't the 12 lost tribes. No, they're not the same Jews. The people that are living there right now, you know, are the Khazars, and they adopted Judaism so long ago that to us who've been born in our lifetime, they're the Jews. And in our parents' lifetimes, they've been the Jews. And our grandparents' job, they've been the Jews. So to us, oh, they're the Jews. This happened in 1948. Oh, it makes sense. Oh, what the word says is happening. But, and the word says, when my people come back together, which are the last tribes, and I get them, and they unite, when those Jews get together, which are the Abrahamic Jews, where Isaac and Jacob, Israel, when they come back together, that'll be the last generation living. But see, there's a playbook happening. In 1967, on June 5th, 1967, they conquered, the Jews were able to conquer the Sinai Peninsula, the Gaza Strip, the West Bank, Eastern Jerusalem, and that whole area. They were able to it was like a 5-day war. It was from the 5th to the 10th, and they were able to take that. So see, now that reconfirms more what happened in 1948. See, he's taking a playbook. Everything that you read in the Bible, he's going to show you. He's going to do it for you. Let me explain. Okay. So right now, in fact, I'm going to show you guys a video on this. In fact, I'll let you guys see the video right now real fast before I continue what I got to say. Here it is.
It is finally happening, guys. Jerusalem has officially announced that they are building the third Solomon temple. If this happens, the prophecy of the second coming of Jesus has now officially begun. Now, this update was given to us by Israel Heritage Foundation, where they basically run all the religious operations. And now they've announced something so big that the entire world is now terrified to see what's going to be happening next.
That very soon we will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem.
The table of showbread is ready.
Oh my God.
The menorah is ready. All of the golden pieces are ready. The third temple is ready.
Our job to bring and to build the third temple.
They're also planning to slaughter 5 red cows. That paves the way for the building of the third temple, replacing the Dome of the Rock.
The red heifers imported from Texas in 2022 are now 3 years old, which means they are ready for a purification ritual according to the Torah. This makes them eligible for the ceremony needed for the third temple preparation. But why the Jews are very silent about it? Well, actually, they're not silent. The leak information from the Temple Institute officials. The red heifer ceremony will take place in the Passover holiday 2025.
Okay, so you guys saw that video. Okay, so it's talking about the red heifers. And that video is talking about the third temple being built. See, all this is word. It says that the third temple will be built. And so he's using this. So the temple is being built. They found 3 red heifers who there hasn't been red heifers, pure red heifers since the time of Solomon and David. So before them. But now they're here. They found 5 in Texas. Now they're in Jerusalem and they're about to sacrifice them before Passover or on Passover. And once that happens, that's like the sign that the third temple can be built, because they're going to sacrifice these red heifers, which are cows, perfect unblemished heifers, and they're going to sacrifice those heifers. And when they do that, then that is a sign to start building the third temple. So that's going to start happening this year. It's going to start happening on Passover of this year. Okay? You see? So the enemy knows this. He knows that the word says it. So he's allowing this to happen. He's allowing it to happen. But remember, the Jews that are there now aren't the Jews that the Father's talking about. He's not talking about those Jews. Okay? But it's a playbook. Okay? So then in the playbook, it says that saying it's in the playbook, it says that the Antichrist is going to be revealed, and he's going to come, and he's going to unite the world. He's going to unite the world, one world government, one world monetary system, one world religion. He's going to be in control of everything. That's what the word says. Okay? Go back, Google it, and read it for yourself. That's what the word says. Okay. So we got to the point of tribulation. Okay. All right. So now, let's get into the download that I received. Okay? So remember, the enemy knows the word, and he's actually allowing and putting his own truths into the word, mixing it with the real word. Remember, there's tares and there's wheat. See, all the tares is religion. It's all the mixing of what the enemy's trying to confuse. He's trying to deceive the whole world. How can he deceive the whole world? The only way you can deceive the whole world is by showing them what they're expecting. Every religion knows about Jesus, and they know he's going to come back, and they know he's going to save the world. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, they believe it in different ways, but they all have an idea of that happening. Okay? So, how do you see the whole world? When you give the world what they're expecting. And this is what I saw in my download. Okay? So, I looked up I looked up in the air, and I saw Jesus. But it wasn't Jesus. It was the enemy deceiving the world, pretending he was Jesus, and he blew the trumpet. Boop, 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 boop. He blew it. And all of a sudden, remember, in the pre-tribulation, the way they're teaching it is once he blows the trumpet, the dead are going to rise first, and then the ones that are alive are going to go up to heaven with him. But what I saw in my download was the enemy came down, faking, making himself into Jesus' form. He was saying he's going to give the world what they're expecting. So he comes and blows a horn, and all of a sudden I started seeing. So we are in spiritual warfare, whether you like it or not. We're in it. I saw a whole bunch. So all those spirits made themselves visible, and they flew up into the air. Okay. And then, just like I said in the beginning of this episode, I said what we were taught. When that happens, most of the world is going to go, Father, thank you. Come get me, take me with you. Okay. See, those are the ones that are deceived. Those are the tares. So what happened in my download, saying Jesus comes, but he wasn't Jesus. It was the enemy portraying himself as Jesus. He blew the trumpet. All the spirits made themselves visible. They went up into the air. And what I saw was that everybody said, Father, Father, this is beautiful. Take me with you. And they all bend their knee to the enemy. This is why I'm giving you what the Father's giving me. Do not bend that knee. He let me know. He'll know right then and there. And the world's going to know who are his people. His people are the ones that did not bend that knee because they were not deceived, because they studied themselves approved. So now I'm watching everybody bend the knee, and I'm standing up by myself, and everybody around me is bending the knee and saying, Father, Father. And the Father says, see how you were able to set yourself apart? The world bend their knee because of being deceived, because of lack of knowledge. They bend the knee to the wrong Savior. They've been deceived. You see, don't get me wrong. All those people that have been deceived, they still have a chance because they know the word too. Eventually, they're going to realize, oh man, this is not Yahusha. I've been deceived by the enemy. So then what they're going to do is they're not going to take the mark, and they're not going to, neither on their forehead or their hand, they're not going to take it, and they're going to be beheaded. Just like the parable, just like the other verses I've told, they're going to be beheaded, and they're going to pass away, and then they will rise after the tribulation comes. They will rise, and they will rise, and they will reign with Yahusha down here on earth. We were never meant to go to heaven. He creates this earth for a reason, for us to be in it. And it says, read it yourself. He says he's going to bring the new Jerusalem down to earth for us to reign with him for 1,000 years. After that 1,000 years is over, then the enemy is going to be let loose. Because for that 1,000 years, the enemy is going to be locked up. He's gonna be in hell or wherever the Father has him, gonna be locked up. He's gonna be there. So we're gonna be able to live and live with the Father without no sin. It'll be perfect for 1,000 years. Then he's gonna get released, and then is when he's gonna come down and he's gonna separate. In the war of Armageddon, that's when that's gonna happen. We're all gonna get together with him in the sky, and we're going to war against the enemy and his people who are going to be down here, who he's able to deceive. And it's not going to be much of a war. It's going to be quick. Why? All power, honor, and glory is his. The enemy thinks that he's going to be able to wage war. How are you going to wage war with who created you? You cannot wage war with who created you. I know that he's been here for a long time, and I know he's been deceiving the world for a long time, but it's not going to be much of a war. So here, this knowledge I'm giving you guys. Now, you guys can take what I just told you and listen and go study yourself approved and wake up from the system that has you locked down, has you enslaved. And when I say enslaved in the mind, wake up, and then your relationship with the Father will grow, and he will seal you. He will cover you. He will cover you. So now you heard what I saw in the download. I was like, oh my gosh, Father, this is a little nutty. If not even like I said, I was just like you guys, even I would say about 4 or 5 months ago. It has been that long since he has awakened me up to this new knowledge, and he's teaching me his ways. I was deceived, but now I'm awake. So when I saw this download, I was like, Father, I need confirmation, because it's going against everything I've always believed, and I'm pretty sure that everybody believes the same thing. Okay? So that night when I saw that, I was in my head quite a bit throughout the day, and I'm telling Father, I need confirmation. If you want me to say this, give me confirmation. So as I was going to bed that night, sometimes I like to go to bed. I like to put a movie on or something on TV, so I could just doze off as I'm watching, and the timer will shut off the TV for me, or I'll get up and I'll shut off, whatever. That's what I like to do at nighttime. I like to just put something on and just doze off to whatever I'm watching. So that night, I just aimlessly just picked, just didn't even look for a movie. I said, okay, I'll pick this movie. Boom. Didn't even think about it, just picked it. Boom. And it was it was an anime movie called The Will of Fire, and it's got to do with Naruto. You can go watch this for yourself. So then I'm watching it, and in the 10th minute of that me watching this movie, there was this huge hologram that the whole world was able to see. I was like, oh, that's what I saw in my download. Nowadays, technology, be aware of technology. Technology, I know you guys seen a lot of like all those drone shows and all the technologies that they can use now. Like I've seen like videos of like a giant Jesus Christ walking across the clouds and like thunderstorm and lightning hit, and you could see him, and everybody's like, oh, there he is. He's gonna use those tactics when he comes down and pretend he's Jesus. He's gonna use all that, so it's gonna look just like the word says it's gonna happen. It's gonna look so real that everybody's gonna be deceived. In Revelation 12:9, it says that serpent, that devil, he came to deceive the whole world. The whole world will be deceived. Be aware. Do not be deceived. Hey, accept this knowledge. My people die because of lack of knowledge. Now, if you are lacking this knowledge, is because you choose to lack it, because I'm here giving you this knowledge. And it's up to you to take it or not. Okay, so I saw that the first confirmation. Okay, and I'm going to show you guys right now real fast what I saw on that movie. Naruto, The Will of Fire, 10 minutes in. Here we go.
我が名はこの葉隠れの里の忍びヒルコ。私ヒルコ子供のはずはない。何だってばよ。我のキメラの術により四大忍び里の結界限界の忍術はすでに我がものになった。5番目の結界限界を手に入れた時、我は無敵不死身の完全忍者となる。その力をもって第4次任界大戦を起こし、全てを支配する。
Okay, so you see how it was like a huge hologram, and the whole world was be able to see it, and everybody was like, whoa, 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 Now I saw what I saw, and I saw the same thing that the hologram. I saw it was a hologram. It was so surreal. I saw that the whole world was like, whoa. First confirmation. I was like, man, I didn't choose this movie. I just picked it, and the download that he gave me, I'm watching this in the movie that has nothing to do with, the Most High. Has nothing to do with the Most High. See, do not put our Father in a box. He can use anything to get his point across. Okay, couple days afterwards, I'm just scrolling. I'm still saying, Father, yes, I'm working my way up to come and do this episode. And so I'm telling him, Father, it's just going to be tough, because it was tough for me. I can only imagine for people who've been in church for 50 years, 60, 70 years. For those people who like believe in their beliefs so wholeheartedly that they won't accept anything else that what they've already learned. Okay, so I run into this video, and this video it's kind of the same thing that I saw, with some differences, not as graphic. It doesn't show as much, but here's the video so you can see what I'm talking about. Here it is, video.
There's a dream that I had sometime last year, and it's been on my mind quite a lot lately. So I want to share it with you. I'm not sharing it to frighten anyone. If anything, it's a reminder for believers to be mindful of what God requires of us in this season. In the dream, I was at home with my family when the Holy Spirit suddenly urged me to go outside because there was something He wanted me to see. So I opened the door and I walked down the driveway. And as I did, I noticed commotion among my neighbors. It was as if panic had gripped the entire neighborhood because everyone was hurrying into their cars and abandoning their homes as if they were trying to escape something. So I asked the Holy Spirit, where are all these people going and why are they afraid? Then I saw long lines of traffic headed toward the airports, but the traffic was so badly congested that people began dumping their cars on the highways and running on foot to make it to the airports desperately. And at the airports, there was chaos because everyone was urgently trying to get on the next flight out. So I'm witnessing this, still standing in my driveway at home, when the Holy Spirit tells me to look up into the sky. And when I looked up, I saw a frighteningly large, dark cloud approaching from a distance. So I asked, "What is that, Lord? Is that you?" And He replied, "No, that's not me." Then the Holy Spirit said, "Take your wife and children and leave." So we also got on a flight and we left. And now, while I'm sitting on the plane, as it climbed to altitude, the Holy Spirit told me to look outside. And from that tiny airplane window, I saw the actual size of that dark cloud, and it was terrifying. So again, I asked God, "What is that, Lord, if it isn't you?" And He replied, "That's the spirit of the Antichrist. He's now approaching." So while I'm trying to process this and taking everything in my flesh, I thought to myself, is there even a point in me being here, or should I just leave now? And perceiving my thought, the Holy Spirit responded, "There is still time." And I desperately asked, "How long?" And He gave me a time frame, but more importantly, He said, "There is still time until the Lord finishes harvesting His people into His kingdom." And as that dark, demonic cloud approached, I woke up. Like I said, I'm not sharing this to frighten anyone. This is a reminder to the church that our top priority should be to populate God's kingdom now, while time is available.
See? Now you see that in that video, there was a cloud that came in the sky. The individual looked up and saw this. When this was happening, the world was going nutty. All the airplanes were full. They were all trying to flee away from what was coming in the air. And when the individual made it into a plane and flew off, what did he see? What did the Father tell him he saw? He says that's the spirit of the Antichrist coming in the air. Second confirmation. So that's when I knew, okay, Father, you give me this word, you give me this knowledge. It's my job. See, now the enemy can't stop me from coming to talk to you guys and give you guys information. He cannot do that. He doesn't have the power to do that. But he has the power to affect my surroundings. And the only person that can stop me from giving this word or this confirmation or this knowledge is myself. So since I've received this confirmation, I've been getting attacked left and right. And sometimes he knows he can't get to me because I'm covered. So what does he do? He attacks the people around me. And he's attacking everybody. So then I can look up and say, "Father, look what you've done. You're letting all these things happen to me. You know what? I'm not going to sit there and give your word." He tried that. No. I'm here giving you this word. Now it's up to you to study yourself approved. And please do not be one of those that dies because you don't have the knowledge and you're too lazy or you don't love him enough to go find out for yourself. So my people, Be blessed. Stay safe. Stay smooth. I love you guys. I'm out. Peace.